First question of the Lions draft nickel package. Okay, set it in stone right now. You're not staying at 28. Move up, move down. Which one's going to happen?
Stop. Now you can go.
Do I have to pick one?
Got to pick one. Up or
Because
down?
I think the oddity now is to say that they stay
at 28.
Yeah.
Well, that's no fun, John.
I'm going to move down. I'll move down. I think there's so much talent, and I know we talked about this yesterday. There's so much talent in the top 100. I think he'll do the opposite and move down.
Thank you. I don't see how people don't think he'll move up in this draft. You still have a bevy of your draft picks for this year and next year. If you identify a guy that you feel can really change this defensive line, that you can pair with Hutch, you move up and you go get that man. And I think, they're not moving into the top 10 or anything, but once it gets to that, 15 to 17 range, and you're looking at some guys that may still be on the board at that time because we believe the runner quarterbacks will push some of these guys down, you'll have your pick of the litter. So
Can I counter that?
Up.
Let me counter that. I think you could get both with 35 and 50.
Counter!
I really do. I think you could get both. I think you could get a really good edge, and you could get a really good IOL. You could get a really good defensive lineman. I think you could get both. In my mind, and maybe I'm overrating this, that's how good I think this top 100 is.
I'll tell you what, if that scenario worked out that we talked about yesterday, if they get Grant and Scorton, I'd be edging at our draft party.
Yeah.
Yes, you would be.
It would be a pantless Grant.
Woodward Sports chat thread, IT Hips. I'm here in West Palm Beach. It beats Fort Lauderdale and Miami. I'm not uppity enough for West Palm Beach. That is a level above me.
Really?
Even. Yes.
Two furnaces ain't uppity enough.
No, it is.
West Palm Beach.
I remember getting the trouble with the two furnaces. I lived that life as well, but I don't want that.
That one's above me.
Do you know what I want? I'm serious. I want a cabana down the road from Jimmy Johnson's place. That's all I want. And Jimmy Johnson will drive by and see my plate of nachos and go, I got to hang with that fella because my plate of nachos are going to be that good.
No doubt. As far as the answer to the question, I think my snap reaction to it is, well, just check the resume. When the Lions are picking where they're picking, he's got a draft board, right, where he's got his grades on his dudes.
Yep.
When that last guy slips towards, the early 20s, then he mobilizes.
He did it last year.
But I listened to Sean, and here's where it's different, KG. Last year, there was a finite number of those guys.
Yeah.
I think with all the guys that Sean's talking about, that there will be somebody. There will be somebody available in day two. There will be at least one in day two that will fall that he's comfortable with. I would say that this year is probably the highest likelihood of him staying.
I got you.
Because somebody's going to fall to him.
I received that.
Multiple people are going to fall to him. Now, I would say it's more if I were going to handicap it, I would say trading up is plus money, staying is even money, and trading back might even be minus a little bit of money. Like that's why it's got nothing to do with the philosophy. It's strictly supply and demand.
I had to answer the question as the question was asked, but I feel if there was a year, there are so many different options that he could go with at edge. And listen, you guys, what about Maxwell out of Kentucky? What if he's sitting there?
I get, yeah.
Do you like?
No, but Sean, that's why I think he'll stay.
We got a stud on the board right now. Do we go corner in the first round? And the people, I can't believe he did this. The whole draft's over. And this is where I'll remind people. Do you know there's a day two
and a day three?
There's 2 rounds. And then you're never going to believe this. Neil, you're never, ever going to believe this. There's a day 3 with multiple rounds there as well. But I think the potential of him staying at 28 is real. I do.
No doubt. And I think so, too, because they're probably going to get a guy that they like so much that they'll want that 5th year on.
Yeah.
So they won't trade back.
But once again, I mean, he's been aggressive in every draft he's been in. And then we know him to be.
But with much more limited supply.
Absolutely. But now you're in a position to where, like you said, we're not relying on day one guys. You can just go in there and pretty much execute whatever plan you want to execute. For him to get aggressive in this draft, I feel like benefits him. And once again, we know him to be the finesser. We know him to come out on the better side of these deals. Look at the JMO trade up. He didn't give up a lot to get there. Like, he moved up 20 spots.
It was a third-round pick swap.
Thank you. Yeah. Like, he's a finesser. So if you got a guy like that going into a draft like this, I'm I think he moves
I
up.
wouldn't put it past him, no doubt. Dante 151 in the super chat. You know what's sad? In Traverse City, the local paper in the sports section had an article on the Red Wings, but nothing on the playoff Pistons. Well, that's a different demographic up there, Dante 151.
Second question of the Lions draft nickel package. What if Brad Holmes goes wide receiver in round one?
Dog, stop it with that. Stop it with that shit. Stop it with that shit.
Question. Can I tell you why?
You know what I would do? Yeah, Sean, you know what I would do real quick? I'd kick the feet up.
I'm done. I'm leaving what we're supposed to happen, bro.
No, can I, just for the sake of an argument, okay? Let's say the number one receiver on every. I
can't even do it.
I can't do it with a straight fucking face. That McMillan kid from Arizona is on the board at 28. The number one receiver. Because this is a franchise that is infatuated with BPA. How would you accept that?
Hold on. Dave Burkett was on the network with E&E yesterday, and he alluded to the fact that they could take one. So
All right,
Russell Brown, we had Russell Brown on the heavyweights, and he said if they truly went BPA at 28, it would be Luther Burden.
I knew Russ pre-puberty. He does a great job.
Russ the man.
$1,000,000%.
What I
Big
was
fan
going
of
to
his.
ask is, okay, is it Burden? Is it Golden? Like, who is
Golden and T-Mac will probably be gone.
T-Mac will be gone for sure.
Oh, yeah. Abuka will probably be gone. Abuka the Buta. It's probably going to be Luther Burden would be the best receiver available there.
Absolutely
He's
not.
a slot guy. You're not going to do that.
Absolutely not.
I understand, like, me and Easy have this joke where it's like, oh, yeah, Brad, you're BPA? Make the pick.
I would have a tough time.
Take the slot guy, Brad.
Listen, I'm a trust Brad guy. I would have a tough time justifying
He wouldn't
that
do
one.
that. Like, last year, I know Easy was trying to, like, Easy's finally coming to my side of, like, last year wasn't BPA either. Like, a little bit. You know, maybe Terrion was their last first round draft or first round graded guy. And
we went to the NFC Championship last year.
Corners.
We needed that.
We need corners. This is a deep corner draft. They went up, they got a corner. This is a deep defensive line draft. They're going to get defensive line. They
You
need
nailed
defensive
it.
line.
I need to reiterate. I mean, you're talking about. I forget the number. We talked about it yesterday. I think there are 31 different guys that could go either edge or defensive line in the first 3 rounds.
And
31. I mean,
Yeah.
think about that. I'm not really good at math, but I know 31 out of 100, 31% of the draft could legitimately be DL or edge.
And BPA at 28 is either Luther Burden or Malachi Starks.
No, man.
Brad Holmes is not going to draft a wide receiver or a safety in the first round of this draft. He's not going to do it.
What would make me upset about it has nothing to do with the guy they take. All right? It's the JMO thing. And you want to know what's funny? This just popped in my head, too, when we started talking about this. And this is going to hijack the conversation, and we'll be getting to the next down at about 12:15. But just so you guys
You
know,
already know how this goes.
be prepared, KG.
It's draft season, baby.
Everybody calm down.
I'm strapped in.
Here's what it would mean to me is if they did draft a wide receiver, I would become quasi-concerned about the signability of Jamison Williams as far as the organization desiring to do it.
How could you not?
Because to me, it's a no-brainer. But whatever, okay? Now, everyone in the chat, I want everyone to keep the same energy, and I think I got everybody here, KG. So when everybody cries about James Pierce, right? When everybody cries about it.
I'm
a
not
cry
getting
too.
James Pierce.
Okay.
I'm a crack too.
But you're different.
Yeah,
But you
right.
know the masses, because the masses are going to cry about James Pierce.
Yep.
Keep that same energy about JMO. When
That's
you
a
talk
fact.
about JMO,
That's a
when you're
fact.
like, oh, well, he's got some problems or whatever, the culture can take care of it. Because has the culture taken care of JMO's problems in your eyes? Has it? Yeah, he had 1,000 yards last year in 14 games.
gonna
Like,
get better.
yeah. So don't. This is what I will not stand for on
I
draft
feel you.
night. If they don't take him, I don't want to hear you guys bitch about it because most of you don't want JMO here anyway. Most of you
fact.
don't. So you're not prepared to deal with that.
That's
You
a
can
fact.
sit there and cry about it, but I'm not. Maybe everybody else will. I'm not.
I ain't gonna
on
lie.
draft night, I'm not because you guys are full of shit if you say that.
Hey, what
You are
Spen-
absolutely full of shit.
What Spenny said as well. Okay, those are the two BPA. Okay, Spenny, you're right. It's Malachi Starks. Doesn't that support the chance that they could move back? Aren't you sitting back now going, well, we don't need to take this. Why don't we load up? I can move from 60. I can move from 60 to 50. I can move down in the mid-30s, and I can get around 50. There are so many. I know Spenny's going the other way. He's going, look at that. I am Cornholio. I am Cornholio.
Holy shit!
Like really, this is what we're talking about. You could move up. You could move back. I think that all of a sudden, and listen, he's kind of got that reputation now of you don't know which way he's going to go. I think use that to your advantage. KG, I'm with you. I don't have any problem with James Pierce.
No Marilyn Manson. Not to suck my own dick here, but what?
Jesus,
that's a hell of a qualifier.
It clicked when I was like, okay, you look at that nose tackle spot. You have DJ Reader on the last year of his deal.
Yep.
You have Roy Lopez on a 1-year deal, and you have Broderick Martin, who's not going to be on this team after next year. You look at the opposite spot of those edge, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. You have Davenport on a 1-year deal, Al-Quadin Muhammad on a 1-year deal, and Josh Pascal on the last year of his deal. You need a guy right there for both of those spots for the foreseeable future. Brad Holmes already talked about how much money he's got to spend on these guys. Second-round pick salaries are drastically different than first-round pick salaries.
That's a fact.
If you can get a second-round pick, like God forbid Kenneth Grant falls, or the kid from Ohio State, the defensive tackle that they talked to, and a Nick Scorton to put there at defensive tackle and edge for 4 years, that is an absolute W. And they're both very talented.
And this is why, I think people bristled when you said IOL a couple months ago. I remember talking about IOL and people going, well, what do you need? You're eventually going to need an IOL.
Old.
This is a forward-thinking general manager, and I thank the Lord every day we have a forward-thinking general manager.
With a team at a forward-thinking spot now.
You got it. Where the window is still open and you are afforded the luxury of saying, well, we might have to replace this in a year or two. Hey, look what I got here. Look what this guy's going to be. It's a good spot to be in, man.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Danny G. Neil just fried half the fan base. Danny G. Don't think I haven't been watching on it, because I have been, and we're going to talk about it, no doubt.
We got the best Waymo takes in all of Michigan. I don't care.
Facts.
1,000,000%. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
1,000 yards.
It's weak.
Shut up. 1,000 yards.
Yep.
Do you enjoy 1,000 yards? I do.
And he's only going to get better. He might be a $30 million receiver.
He's the first receiver in the history of the NFL to have 1,000 yards and under 60 catches.
How many times did we have that? How many times have we
That's
had
a
that
power
conversation in the offseason where I said, here's a problem where you have so many good pieces, and I liken it back to like the Red Wing teams of gone by. Brett Hull didn't need to come here and score 70 goals.
Yeah.
Okay? Just produce. J-Mo produced and then some. He was one of but many weapons, but then he went next level.
And made NFL history.
How could you argue that today?
You can't.
How-
300 to 1,000 yards.
Exactly.
No, they'll be quiet now, Sean, but they're there.
No, Neil, exactly what we said might happen, happened. Shut up.
Hey.
I'm not asking you to pat me on the back and go, hey, dude, you were right. That was a good. I'm not asking for that. I don't give
It
a
was
shit about
common
that.
sense, bro.
Just shut up your mouth.
And Jay Thomas in the
honestly.
Woodward Sports chat, he says, J-Mo be in the trenches, Detroit fuck with J-Mo. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People hate him for that, too. Oh, he's buying this dude Red Bull and Doritos at the gas station.
And beef jerky,
He needs to be somewhere. Oh, he's buying water from kids in the hood. He can't be doing that.
Right.
I fuck with J-Mo being down there all the time. Like, it's awesome. And he's down with the
100%.
city. And the city loves him. He's passing out coats. He's handing out turkeys.
He's at the Tigers game outside.
In the car.
Yes, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to the Tigers game and sitting out there.
Exactly, bro. Like brothers ain't just sitting out in the cold for
KG,
no reason, bro.
you
Like,
out there
come on.
messing with that game?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. You catch me at the Tigers game in June, July. That's my
That's
window
my
for
window.
Tigers. Like, nah, man. Shout
All right,
out
next
J-Mo.
down.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we were doing this. Third down.
Third down.
Of the two segments
Spinny
in.
not even drinking.
Third down of the Lions draft nickel package. Who is your draft crush? I know who Sean's is.
You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
James Pierce. I have no problem with it.
I got two. One is a later round, though. I'm still on the Landon Jackson train. Hey, call me what you will. But
That's fair,
definitely
too.
James Pierce, man. I also kind of like Derek Harmon. If they were to go to defensive interior
wouldn't
first
mind
round, bring Derek Harmon on.
That's in the general vicinity. All right, you know what? Just to be different, how about I say Mike Green?
Okay.
Let's say Mike Green's such a horrible human being that it drops. Okay, let's bring Mike
Yeah.
Green in.
I've-
I firmly believe our culture is such. I'm sorry, I do.
I've
firmly
grown to
believe-
like Ezraku too as well. Shout out to the heavyweights for their coverage on Ezraku.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Shout out.
He
Tyler
should
Booker
be
for me.
there. Tyler Booker, I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing. Like, we're in a really good position to get a really good player and that amazing world, Neil, where need and BPA kind of collide. Honest to God, I think we're in that unique position at this point in the draft.
I want the best of something.
Yeah.
That's
How
what I
about you,
want.
Spenny? Where you at?
I want to say James Pierce because I love James Pierce. I think he's the second best edge in this draft. I think he's going to be a steal, but the Lions are not going to take him. I've already
Spinny, come on.
I've already accepted that.
Come on, Spin.
So I like Mikael Williams a lot. I really do.
They got to move up for him. Then.
Yeah, they would have to. And if he falls to 15, him or Shamar Stewart, if either of them fall past 15, I could see Brad pulling the trigger and getting one of those guys.
Big Con 51 in the chat, Jack Sawyer. I think there's a lot of guilty
Boy, if
people feeling guilty.
You know what my pipe dream is? My pipe dream is to drop out of 28. And when I talk about getting mid-30s and upper 40s, then you could grab a stud at 30 and you could come back and grab Jack Sawyer.
Yeah.
What, 6'3", 260?
I mean, I
think
don't
that's the
hate
type of
Jack
guy they like.
Sawyer. I just don't know about his NFL upside. I really
Okay.
don't.
Today is Jack Sawyer, mid guy.
Fourth down.
He's mid. Next question, fourth down. Kenneth Grant isn't actually falling, is he? Like
don't believe
that's not gonna happen.
I don't believe it.
Oh, then give me the why.
I'll tell you why I think everybody knows how good he is. And I think that shit starts to fly out there, and then the reality of the draft hits, and somebody's sitting at the board and says, this guy's an impact player. This guy can be a stud for years to go in the National Football League. I cannot see him. Some people have suggested out of the top 10. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. KG, I don't believe
I
it.
see him falling on the first round.
I don't believe it.
I
don't
don't
believe
know.
it. I don't think he'll be out of the top 10. I'm serious when I say that. I don't. There's too much talent there.
All right, let's work backwards on it then, real quick, Spenny. Okay, so when you look at defensive tackles in the draft, right? Like
Yeah.
Mason Graham,
Right.
top
Walt-
five,
Walter
top
Nolan.
five.
Absolutely.
Derek Harmon, it's a question mark. Like I've seen him go.
Derek Harmon mid first to late.
Yeah, I've
He
seen
could
him.
be
I've seen him
early
as high as
second.
9.
Yeah.
I've seen him
As low as
second round.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenneth Grant, right?
Yeah.
Walter Nolan. Like the defensive tackle in the draft I don't want to say they're the new edge, but they're.